Good morning, guys. It's super early in the morning, and I just want to put an intro to this video because I kind of started this video not knowing what the hell I was doing in the beginning. So, thank you guys for watching. First and foremost, there is a lot of information in this video, so hopefully this video helps out somebody that does a KA swap, SR, VG, CA, whatever. This relay box is absolutely the best thing that I've bought for this car. So, definitely, just little warning before we start. This video has a shit ton of information. So with that being said, try not to fall asleep. Also, I know these videos haven't really been getting that much traction lately, but hopefully it picks up. And I do appreciate you guys all for subscribing, watching. Literally just an informal video, nothing crazy. It's just basically what I did to kind of get my car cranking. Again, it's not starting right now because I definitely need to build oil pressure. Alright, so let's get to this video, and hopefully it's interesting enough that some of you guys don't fall asleep. Alright guys, I do apologize for the noise in the background, but let me tell you, this piece right here is one piece of art. This little relay box is made by a company called JB Coachworks, and JB stands for James Boswell. Now I hope I'm not butchering his last name, but this piece right here is the holy grail for anybody that's trying to swap a KA, CA, SR, or VG in their either Datsuns or any type of chassis that they just want to put a KA in. Clearly, I'm putting it in a Starion Conquest, which is no information about. Most of the information that I'm getting for this is from Datsun or the Ratsun forums. So James actually did the hard work for you. All you have to do is take your engine harness wires, the KA harness, and slide them right into the slots and then screw it down. But you do have to do a little bit of research to find your key power, your start signal, and oil pressure switch. Now keep in mind your alternator will have to be wired separately. You will have to figure out how to wire that. That's just basically a separate system that keeps your battery charging. The more research you do on that, the more you figure it out. It's not that hard. So there are diagrams online from ratsun.net. He has a whole forum, a whole page where it's just devoted to all the diagrams that you need to run it, VG, KA, CA, or SR. Now it doesn't come with this power cable. Welding wire is a cheat code. Shout out to Jimmy O. There's a nylon nut with a screw underneath it, so all you have to do is take off these two screws, slide this panel down, slide this whole thing out, and hook up your terminal, and just screw it in. Simple. Alright, so I'll show you guys the diagram, the wiring that I'm going to follow, just in case anybody's trying to do the same swap. And we'll jump into plugging everything up. Now the inside of this car is very dark, so you won't see much. I will have to change the lens because this 50mm will not work well with, inside there. This is pretty much it. So what I have on this sheet is from a guy or a website called Project Zero. This guy basically has all the pinouts for my chassis harness. You got my 12-volt constant, 12 switch power, 12 volt again, I guess, I don't know. Then you have the oil pressure gauge, start, and then all that. So this is the diagram that Ice House, basically James, created to kind of help people out when it came to this kind of stuff, just plugging everything in. Now we'll go through everything. Now we have battery. We'll need a fuse in between, a 70 amp fuse, and I have that as well. I'll show you guys that when we hook everything up. So you got black and pink. That would go to your FPLSS. So that would be your FPLSS. Your fuel pump will go to your fuel pump 1. And you have your black and yellow. That goes to your fuel pump 2. Now that you're done with that, you go to your ECCS, which is ECCS LSS will be your black, well, your red with black, right? That's pin 4 in the ECU. And then your black and white. Now, black and white will run to ECCS 1. Now, it says 2 wires. You could either put them both in there, or on the harness itself, it actually has 1 wire that hooks up both of them, right? So you just plug that into ECCS 1. Your last wire for the ECCS section would be your ECU Backup Power. So you would put that where it says ECU Backup Power. Your key power is this right here. So my key power is basically going to be my switch ignition. Right? Now, it tells you that on this diagram, which is made for Datsuns. Now, if you have a Datsun, this is perfect for you. You don't have to do anything. Now, if you don't have a Datsun, you kind of got to do a little bit of research to actually find out where this wire is. And you would run that to key power, right? And that's where it says ground, because it's in the run section, so I assumed that's what it is. All right, so you run that to your key power. Then you have run 1. You got your idle air control valve, and then, all right, and then you have run 2, which is your black or red pin 38 on the ECU. Super simple. And the last but not least, you have your ground, and then you have your power wire that has a 70 amp fuse on it. One thing I want to address, you see where it says starter solenoid orange pin 20. Now, don't ignore that. I don't know what the hell I was doing in the beginning, but you do need a start signal from the car itself. Your old harness should have a start wire that used to connect to some type of relay or connect to the fuse box, whatever. It connected to the car itself. Now that's the start wire that you need. So this orange pin 20 is definitely needed because this needs to tie into that signal to it's for like cold start. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Nissan's cold start, but it sends a little bit more fuel to the injectors to get the car kind of started quickly or something like that. Something along those lines. Don't really know, but I will be splicing this wire into the old start wire coming from the car itself. Now, last but not least, you definitely want your ECU pin out. Now, all this shit looks crazy daunting right now. Look at all this wiring. Alright, so this is the chassis harness right here. And these wires is exactly what I need. So I went through, labeled all of them. And you definitely should do that. I would advise that. So that way, when you need something, it's all here. And this is the oil pressure switch going to the motor. So we'll keep that separate. Keep that out the way. Now, all you're going to do for these wires. So we have basically our... Alright, so you got your red and black wire, right? Which goes to ECCS LSS on the pinout. I don't know if you guys can see, but... Alright, so you're going to take that and you're going to put that in ECS LSS. Slide right there. Take your little screwdriver. And then bam. Alright guys, so we're pretty much done here. FP1 is going to have this wire right here, which is the wire that actually goes to the fuel pump, that gives the fuel pump power. So we're going to keep that disconnected for now, only because of the fact that I need to prime the motor with oil before we do anything. So this is the fuse that I'm running in line between the power from the battery to the power to the relay box. Now I'm running a 70 amp fuse because that's what it says on the diagram, and I would follow the diagram. And this is a mini ANL fuse holder. So this fuse holder is actually better than the blade fuses. Alright, so I will be redoing all this wiring. This wiring definitely ain't no safe thing. It's just not safe to keep it like this. So just for now, just to see if the motor starts, I need it to crank. I need it to start up and prime oil. And then once we could do that, I could get it fired up. And once it fires up, we could clean all this mess up. So for the starter part, now this is the starter. I have, don't worry about these wirings, but I have a power going to my battery post, which is my distribution post right here. And then I have the starter connection, which is the starter signal. Now this is the wire I was talking about. This wire right here came from the old harness. This is the wire that you need in order to get your motor started. Now this wire hooks up to a relay box underneath this plate. It allows you to turn the key to start and the power signal to the starter, so the starter will start. Now that orange pin 20 on your ECU will actually go to this harness as well and allow you to have that cold start function, I guess. And this wire right here is the yellow wire for your oil pressure switch. Now you don't have to run this, you can just run a separate wire. You don't really need to, but it basically goes right into your oil pressure switch right here underneath. And that's it, but I do have to get the connector for that. One more thing before we finish up here. This is my alternator wire. As I was telling you guys before, that the alternator is separate from the whole system. All the alternator needs is power and signal. Last but not least, and very important, and is your charge light. So without this light, without this resistor, the alternator ain't gonna charge a damn thing, and you're just gonna be draining your battery all the time. That is pretty much it for wiring. I know it looks like a mess right now, so we get it all cleaned up eventually once everything gets all started. If I have everything hooked up right, I should get power, right? Let's try it. don't think it stays on for long though. Alright, so we got the booster on. I'm gonna kick it on. There should be light that comes up in here, so okay. It's a good sign. So if everything's hooked up right, we should have power. Right? We got some dash lights, which is good. Put the key in. Hey! So we got power, which is good. And the red's not on because there's no fuel. That obviously means that, you know, my fuel isn't connected. When it is connected, it's gonna be red. So I just want to try something. Yo, y'all saw that? Yo, this shit starts. So again, I'm not gonna start it just yet. I still gotta prime the oil. I need to figure out some of these lines because some of these lines are capped off as well. Like my heater core, clearly I'm not running heat no more because my heater core shit is destroyed. But man, this is crazy. I'm super excited that this thing actually kicked over, which is great. Oh man, that's so crazy. That is crazy. Yo, we got literally the first crank. I just watched back the video and oh my god, this thing cranks. So that's a good sign. That's definitely a good sign. That means everything is connected properly. We got the starter to actually start, which I didn't want to do today. So that's good. We have pretty much most of the lights on the dash, which is also good. We have lights on the relay box itself, which is great. I'm excited. I'm definitely excited now. All right, guys. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it wasn't much. It wasn't crazy, and it was hopefully informative, and it helped some of you guys out with the wiring. Wiring is super daunting, and it is super annoying and tedious, and you have to be careful what you cut and what you do. I'm no professional. I could even get the wiring wrong right now, and I wouldn't even know until I actually start the car and something either catches on fire or blows up. Alright, so I'm just lost for words right now. Shout out to James. Shout out to JB Coach Works. If you guys want a KA, you know, swap in your Starion or whatever you want, you can literally wire it into anything with that relay box. So that's crazy. Alright guys, so I have to end it off with a like, comment, and subscribe. I know this build isn't really getting that much traction, but it's okay. It's all good. I know it's out there. I know it's just something that somebody could look at if they need some type of wiring help, or even if they want to see a cool build happen in a garage shed kind of weird backyard thing. So I appreciate you guys for watching. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.